What if the first words you say each morning could shape the entire direction of your day? Think about that for a moment. The second your eyes open, before the noise of the world enters, you have a choice. You can drift back into yesterday's doubts and fears, or you can plant a seed of strength that grows into every decision, every action, every thought that follows. Most people never realize the power hidden in the first few sentences they whisper to themselves. They wake up and immediately remember what went wrong, what they lack, what they fear. And without knowing it, they hand control of the day over the negativity before they've even left the bed. But you are here because you sense something deeper. You sense that your mornings are not just the start of a routine, but the birthplace of your future. When you begin your day with words that affirm your strengths, something powerful happens inside your mind. Your brain starts looking for evidence to support those words. It doesn't just hear them, it builds a reality around them. If you say, "I am not ready, I am not enough," your brain will hunt for proof of failure. But if you rise and declare, "I am strong, I am capable, I am ready," your brain begins to scan the world for opportunities that align with that truth. This isn't empty talk, it's neuroscience. The reticular activating system in your brain filters billions of bits of information and shows you what it believes is most important. The words you choose every morning are the instructions that tell your mind what to focus on. That is why a single sentence can shift the entire course of a day. And I want you to feel the weight of this truth. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not destined to repeat the same cycles forever. You can take command of your mornings, and by doing so, you can take command of your life. Because when you rise with intention, when you rise with conviction, you set in motion a force that carries you through obstacles that would normally defeat you. Imagine starting every day with the clarity that you are stronger than your fears, that your challenges are not barriers, but stepping stones, that your life is not random, but directed by your choices. That is the emotional reward waiting for you if you decide to change what you say to yourself every morning. Stay with me, because in the moments ahead, I'm going to give you words that can reshape the way you wake up forever. Words that are not just phrases, but fuel. Words that remind you of who you really are when the doubts of the world try to bury your fire. Every morning you have two choices: to repeat the past or to claim the future. And the only difference is what you choose to tell yourself. So lean in, because by the time this message is done, you will never look at your mornings the same way again. The moment you wake up, your mind is like soft clay, malleable, ready to be shaped by the very first impressions you allow to touch it. If you do nothing, if you let autopilot take over, that clay hardens quickly into worry, stress, and distraction. But if you take charge, if you carve powerful truths into it from the beginning, the entire day becomes an extension of strength instead of a battlefield of weakness. The world does not wait for you to decide who you are. It will try to tell you. It will try to label you, define you, and drag you back into the limitations of yesterday. That is why you must rise and speak with conviction before anything else speaks to you. Every morning, your first words are not just sounds. They are a declaration of identity. Say to yourself, "I am not a prisoner of my past. I am the architect of my future." Feel the difference those words carry. When you speak them with honesty and belief, they cut through the fog of doubt and awaken the part of you that remembers your worth. You have fought battles others don't even know about. You have survived nights you thought would never end. You have walked through storms and still stand breathing in this moment. That is proof of your strength. But proof means nothing if you don't remind yourself of it. That is why your morning words must echo louder than your fears. Science shows us that repeated affirmations rewire neural pathways, creating patterns that become second nature. This isn't magic. It is practice. When you say, "I am strong," every single morning, you are teaching your brain to believe it. Over time, that belief moves from the conscious surface into the subconscious core, where it becomes who you are rather than something you are trying to become. And once your subconscious accepts the truth, your actions automatically follow it. You begin to walk, talk, and decide like the person you claim to be. Think about the days you felt unstoppable, when even obstacles seemed small compared to your drive. That energy was not random. It came from belief. It came from the way you framed your reality before the challenges appeared. And the beauty is, you can create that state every single day. You don't have to wait for the perfect mood, the perfect conditions, or someone else's approval. You only need to speak power into your mornings until your mornings begin to speak power back into you. If you want courage, you must declare it. If you want focus, you must affirm it. If you want resilience, you must remind yourself of it before life has the chance to test you, because life will test you. There will be setbacks, critics, and delays, but none of them can overpower a mind that wakes up already armored in truth. That is the secret most overlooked. Success is not won during the battles of the day. It is secured in the silence of the morning when no one is watching, when it is just you and your reflection and the words you choose to believe. So tomorrow, when the alarm rings, don't roll back into weakness. Sit up, breathe deep, and claim your identity out loud. Claim your strength, your focus, your vision. Because once you decide who you are at dawn, the world has no choice but to adjust to your light. When you speak to yourself at the break of day, you are not just repeating words, you are programming your future. Every phrase you choose acts like a seed dropped into the soil of your mind. Some seeds grow into strength, clarity, and courage. Others grow into fear, hesitation, and doubt. The soil does not reject the seed, it simply grows whatever you place in it. That is why you must guard your mornings with precision. You cannot allow careless words to set the tone for your life. You must choose with intention, because what you plant at sunrise blooms throughout the entire day. Tell yourself, I am worthy of this life. Let that truth sink in. Too many mornings are stolen by self-criticism, by the quiet voice whispering that you are not enough. But worth is not something you earn through perfection, it is something you carry by existence. You woke up today, and that alone is proof of purpose. When you affirm your worth, you silence the lie that says you have to chase validation from the outside world. And when you stand firm in your worth, you carry yourself differently. You make decisions with confidence. You treat challenges not as threats, but as chances to rise higher. Your brain craves direction. If you fail to give it positive orders in the morning, it will replay old scripts of fear and limitation. That is why so many people repeat the same patterns year after year. They never interrupt the loop. But the moment you rise and speak words of power, you break the cycle. The science of neuroplasticity shows that your brain can rewire itself at any age, but repetition is the tool that makes the change stick. That is why your morning ritual matters more than almost anything else. You are literally shaping your identity with every word. Think of the energy shift that happens when you tell yourself, I am capable of handling anything that comes my way today. Suddenly, the problems that used to scare you become challenges you are equipped to meet. The weight that felt too heavy yesterday feels lighter because you have already decided you are strong enough. That decision changes your posture, your focus, and even the way others respond to you. People are drawn to someone who radiates certainty, and that certainty begins in the privacy of your morning affirmations before anyone else hears your voice. You have been given another day, another chance to become more of who you were meant to be. Do not waste it by carrying yesterday's fear into today's beginning. Speak words that align with the person you are becoming, not the person you were. Every morning is a doorway. You can walk through it carrying regret, or you can step through with vision. The words you choose are the key that unlocks which path you take. So rise with authority. Speak not as a victim of circumstance, but as the author of your own story. Tell yourself truths that elevate you, empower you, and ignite you. Because once you decide to speak power into your mornings, you will notice something remarkable. Life itself begins to respond to the strength of your voice. The words you speak to yourself in the stillness of the morning are not just reminders. They are commands that shape your destiny. When you tell yourself, I am ready, you are giving your mind permission to stop hiding behind excuses. When you tell yourself, I'm strong, you are unlocking reserves of power that fear has tried to bury. And when you tell yourself, I will win today, you are drawing a line in the sand that no setback can erase. The morning is your battlefield, and victory belongs to the one who claims it before the world even has a chance to resist. Every doubt you've carried, every fear that has whispered in the dark loses its strength the moment you confront it with truth. Fear thrives in silence, in the space where you do not fight back. But when you rise and speak words of courage, fear is forced to retreat. It cannot withstand the authority of a voice that has chosen belief over hesitation. That is why your first words matter more than you realize. They are not passive thoughts, they are weapons. They slice through the weight of yesterday and clear a path for the possibilities of today. Your mind is not neutral. It is either working for you or against you, depending on what you allow into it. If you wake up and let random thoughts dictate your state, you surrender control. But when you wake up and speak power deliberately, you seize control. This practice builds mental resilience. Psychology calls it priming, the act of preparing your brain to notice what aligns with your chosen focus. If you prime yourself with weakness, you will notice reasons to quit. But if you prime yourself with strength, you will see opportunities hidden even inside struggles. Your focus expands whatever you feed it, and your words are the fuel. Do not underestimate the shift that comes from repeating truth daily. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You may not believe the words completely, but belief grows with repetition. Faith is built in the same way a muscle is built, through consistent exercise. Every morning you speak life over yourself, you are strengthening the inner foundation that cannot be shaken by temporary storms. One day you will wake up and realize the words you once struggled to believe have become the very core of your identity. That is the power of persistence. When you say to yourself, I am more than enough, you strip away the chains of comparison. When you affirm, I have everything I need within me, you silence the false narrative that you must wait for permission to start. And when you boldly declare today is mine to shape, you take back authority over your time, your choices, and your outcomes. These are not empty phrases. They are declarations of war against mediocrity, laziness, and fear. So do not whisper them timidly. Speak them as if your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The life you desire is hidden inside the discipline of what you tell yourself each morning. Speak with conviction, speak with courage, speak with fire. Because when your mornings echo with strength, your entire life begins to reflect it. Every day you wake up, you are standing at the edge of possibility. The moment your feet touch the ground, you face two directions, one that leads back into the familiar comfort of excuses, and one that pushes you forward into growth, strength, and achievement. What determines the path you take is not chance. It is the conviction you speak over yourself before the world can decide for you. This is why your morning words must be more than casual thoughts. They must be declarations of intent, carved deep into your mind before distraction tries to pull you away. Say to yourself, I am unstoppable. Feel the gravity of those words as they sink in, because the truth is, nothing outside of you has the power to stop you unless you give it permission. Obstacles are not walls, they are tests designed to measure your commitment. And when you rise and remind yourself that you are unstoppable, your brain interprets challenges not as dead ends, but as puzzles waiting for solutions. You create a mental state where giving up is no longer an option, and that state transforms how you move through the day. Your subconscious listens more closely in the first minutes of waking than at almost any other time. In those quiet moments, your mind is open, impressionable, and ready to receive instruction. That is why the first words you choose are critical. If you tell yourself you are tired, your body will carry fatigue. If you tell yourself you are ready, your body will respond with energy. The connection between thought and physiology is undeniable. Athletes use visualization and affirmations to enhance performance because the body follows the mind's lead. You can use the same science in your life every single morning. It does not matter how many times you have failed before. What matters is what you tell yourself now. Say, I rise stronger each time I fall. With those words, failure no longer defines you. It refines you. Instead of carrying the weight of mistakes, you carry the wisdom they gave you. This shift is more than motivation. It is identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles and you start seeing yourself as someone who grows. That difference is the line between those who quit and those who break through. The world responds to energy, and energy flows from belief. When you speak strength into yourself, people can feel it. Opportunities recognize it. Even your environment seems to bend in the direction of someone who knows where they are going. Confidence attracts doors that doubt would have kept locked. This is why your mornings are sacred. They are your chance to align your inner world with the outer reality you are determined to create. Look in the mirror tomorrow and speak to the reflection as if you are reminding it of a destiny it has almost forgotten. Tell yourself, I am built for more than survival. I am here to thrive. Say it with force. Say it with conviction. Say it until the hesitation cracks and belief floods in. Because once you learn to command your mornings, you will discover that life itself begins to move in rhythm with your voice. And the unstoppable force you declare each dawn becomes the unstoppable reality you live each day. The mind that awakens in the morning is hungry for direction. If you feed it with fear, it will search for reasons to hold back. If you feed it with doubt, it will search for excuses to quit. But if you feed it with strength, it will search for proof of your power. That is why your first words are not just habits, they are blueprints. They set the pattern your thoughts will follow, the lens through which you will see every experience, and the energy that will fuel your actions. Speak to yourself with weakness, and weakness becomes your reality. Speak to yourself with power, and power becomes your truth. Say to yourself, I am in control of my focus. Those words remind you that life cannot dictate where your energy goes unless you surrender it. Distractions will always come, but you are not a slave to them. Your mind will follow the compass you set each morning, and if you declare control, you begin to live with intention instead of drifting aimlessly. This is not about ignoring the challenges that exist. It is about deciding that they do not get to own your attention. Energy flows where focus goes, and your morning affirmations are the command center that directs that flow. Psychologists call this self-directed neuroplasticity, the ability to physically rewire your brain through intentional thought patterns. Every time you repeat a powerful truth, you strengthen the neural circuits that support that truth. Over days, weeks, and months, those circuits become highways your brain naturally travels. The doubts and fears that once controlled you lose their strength because you stop feeding them. The voice that once told you you can't becomes faint compared to the voice that confidently declares you will. This transformation does not happen in a single morning, but it begins with the choice to claim your voice every single morning. Say, I am a creator, not a victim. With those words, you reject passivity. You stop waiting for life to deliver meaning and instead begin shaping it with your own hands. You take back authority from circumstances, people, and the past. Victims wake up hoping for better days. Creators wake up and make them. The distinction is everything because one mindset changed you to yesterday, while the other builds a future that never existed before you chose it. Your mornings are not small moments to rush through. They are sacred rituals that prepare your spirit for battle. They are opportunities to breathe life into your vision before the noise of the world tries to bury it. When you stand tall, look forward, and declare who you are, you set a tone the world cannot ignore. It is not arrogance. It is alignment with the truth that you were built for more than hesitation, more than fear, more than mediocrity. So when you wake tomorrow, remember this. The first words you speak are not casual. They are the foundation of your destiny. Say them with strength. Say them with fire. Say them as if your life depends on them, because in every way that matters, it does. And when you commit to this day after day, you will find that your life is no longer shaped by chance, but by the unstoppable force of the words you choose to believe. The words you declare each morning are the anchors that hold you steady when the storms of the day begin to rise. Without them, you drift, pulled in every direction by circumstances and emotions. But with them, you remain centered, grounded in a truth that no outside force can shake. This is why you must not treat your morning affirmations as casual repetitions. They are not just phrases. They are lifelines. They are the compass that points you towards strength when everything else tries to push you back into fear. Say to yourself, I am resilient. That single word carries an entire world of power. Resilience is not about avoiding pain or pretending life will always be smooth. It is about reminding yourself that nothing can break you permanently. It is about planting the belief that no matter how hard you fall, you will rise stronger than before. This affirmation turns setbacks into lessons and obstacles into stepping stones. It transforms life's weight from a burden into a training ground. And the more you repeat it, the more your brain begins to treat adversity not as an enemy, but as a sculptor shaping your strength. The science behind this is simple yet profound. Your mind adapts to the narratives you reinforce. If your story is one of weakness, your brain will confirm it by amplifying hesitation. If your story is one of resilience, your brain will confirm it by sharpening your resourcefulness, patience, and determination. This is why people who speak strength into themselves walk through storms differently. They don't crumble at the first sign of resistance. They stand taller because they have already told themselves that no force will keep them down. Say, I'm prepared for growth. Those words shift your perspective from resistance to readiness. Growth is never comfortable, and it rarely arrives on easy terms. It comes through pressure, through discomfort, through challenge. But when you tell yourself you are prepared, you stop fearing growth and start inviting it. You begin to see every experience, good or bad, as a step forward. And the truth is, growth will always come. It's not optional. The choice is whether you meet it with fear or with readiness. By affirming your preparedness, you choose the posture that transforms growth into progress instead of pain. Each morning is an opportunity to declare that you are unshaken by yesterday and unafraid of tomorrow. It is a chance to remind yourself that no matter what comes, you are capable, resilient, and prepared. The difference between those who live with strength and those who live in weakness is not circumstance, it is language. It is the voice inside their own mind, the affirmations that become the framework of their reality. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, speak with authority. Tell yourself the truth of who you are and who you are becoming. Say it with conviction, even if your voice shakes. Say it with power, even if you don't fully believe it yet. Because belief grows in the soil of repetition, and with every morning you choose resilience, you are building an inner world that cannot be broken by the outer one. Every time you rise and affirm your strength, you are not just preparing for the day, you are rewriting the script of your entire life. Most people wake up and carry yesterday into the day like a heavy chain, dragging their mistakes, regrets, and disappointments behind them. But you are not most people. You are learning that your mornings hold the key to breaking those chains. With a single choice, with a single declaration, you can step out of the shadows of yesterday and into the light of who you are becoming. Say to yourself, I release what no longer serves me. Those words are powerful because they create space inside you. Space for new opportunities, new strength, new visions. Holding on to the past keeps your hands full, leaving no room to grasp the future. But when you release the weight you no longer need, you discover how much lighter and freer you are to move forward. This is not denial, it is discipline. It is the courage to let go of what has already taught you its lesson so you can make room for what is next. Your brain is designed to cling to the familiar, even when the familiar is painful. That is why old habits and old doubts feel so difficult to shake. But psychology shows us that intentional reframing, replacing an old belief with a new empowering one, literally changes the way your brain fires. Every time you say, I release what no longer serves me, you are training your mind to stop obsessing over the past and to redirect its energy toward the present. Over time, this practice weakens the grip of old patterns and strengthens the circuits of freedom and possibility. Say, I am open to new beginnings. With those words, you remind yourself that every morning is a reset. No matter how many times you've stumbled, you can begin again today. No matter how long you've waited, you can take the first step now. Life rewards those who are willing to begin, not those who wait for perfect timing. By affirming openness to new beginnings, you create a mindset that looks forward instead of backward, that welcomes change instead of fearing it. And when you approach life with that openness, you start to notice doors you once overlooked. This is the beauty of mornings. They carry the gift of renewal. They whisper that you are not bound to yesterday's choices, that you are not locked inside yesterday's identity. You are free to release what weighs you down and step boldly into something greater. But that freedom is only activated when you claim it with your words. If you stay silent, the old patterns will return. If you speak power, the old patterns lose their grip. So do not allow your mornings to be wasted by silence or negativity. Use them to declare release, to declare openness, to declare transformation. Say it until it becomes real. You are not stuck, you are not broken, and you are not too late. You are standing at the doorway of a new chapter every single morning. And the key to walking through it is in your own voice, the voice that dares to let go of the past and claim the future waiting on the other side. The moment you decide to release the past and embrace new beginnings, you awaken to a deeper truth. You are not here merely to survive. You are here to create, to expand, to rise into the fullest version of yourself. Every morning is not just a chance to start again. It is an invitation to step closer to your potential. That potential is not something outside of you waiting to be discovered. It is already inside you waiting to be claimed. The words you choose at sunrise are the keys that unlock it. Say to yourself, I am capable of more than I imagine. Those words ignite possibility. Too often we underestimate ourselves because we measure our future by the limits of our past. But your past cannot define your capacity. It can only test it. When you affirm that you are capable of more, you shift your brain from limitation to expansion. You activate curiosity, creativity, and courage. Suddenly, opportunities you once overlooked begin to reveal themselves because your mind is no longer searching for reasons to stay small. It is searching for reasons to grow. The psychology of self-efficacy teaches us that Belief in your ability is one of the strongest predictors of achievement. When you believe you can, you persist longer, you endure harder challenges, and you recover faster from setbacks. But belief is not automatic. It must be built. Every morning affirmation is a brick in that foundation. Every time you declare your capability, you strengthen the structure that will hold you steady when life tests your resolve. This is not empty positivity. It is mental training as real and as powerful as training the body in the gym. Say, I am disciplined. With those words, you remind yourself that motivation alone is not enough. Discipline is what carries you when feelings fade. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. And when you speak it into yourself each morning, you program your brain to choose consistency over comfort, progress over procrastination. This one shift can change everything because discipline turns dreams into plans and plans into reality. Without it, potential remains locked. With it, nothing remains out of reach. Each morning, your affirmations are not just reminders of who you are. They are rehearsals for who you are becoming. The more you declare strength, capability, and discipline, the more natural those qualities feel. Eventually, they stop feeling like affirmations and start feeling like identity. That is the point where transformation becomes permanent, when the words you speak are no longer just goals, but truths that guide your every action. You do not need permission to claim this identity. You do not need the approval of others or the perfect set of circumstances. All you need is the courage to rise, look into the mirror of the morning, and declare what is already inside you. You are capable. You are disciplined. You are unstoppable. And every time you speak these words with conviction, you carve deeper grooves of truth into your mind. So tomorrow, do not hesitate. Say it boldly. Say it with strength. Say it until your own voice convinces you, because when your mornings begin with the language of power, your days unfold with the reality of transformation. When you rise and claim discipline, you are also claiming freedom. The world often confuses freedom with the absence of structure, but true freedom comes from self-mastery. It comes from knowing that your choices are not dictated by impulse, distraction, or weakness, but by vision, clarity, and strength. Each morning, when you speak discipline into your life, you are declaring that you refuse to be a prisoner of comfort. You are declaring that your actions will not be controlled by fleeting moods, but by the unshakable commitment to who you are becoming. Say to yourself, I am focused. Those words cut through the noise before it begins. The truth is, life will always try to scatter your attention. Notifications, problems, and demands are waiting for you the moment you step out of bed. But when you begin your day by affirming focus, you anchor your mind to your priorities. You remind yourself that not everything deserves your energy, and not everyone deserves your time. Focus is power. And the moment you declare it, you sharpen your ability to filter distractions and invest your effort where it truly matters. The human brain is wired to chase stimulation, to seek novelty at every turn. That is why focus must be trained. Affirmations are the training ground. When you say, I am focused, you prime your reticular activating system to filter the endless stream of information and highlight only what aligns with your goals. Instead of being pulled in every direction, you begin to notice the path that moves you forward. This is not wishful thinking. It is biology working in your favor when you command it with intention. Say, I am consistent. With those words, you remind yourself that greatness is not built in sudden bursts of effort, but in steady persistence. Consistency turns small steps into giant leaps over time. It transforms ordinary days into extraordinary outcomes. And when you affirm consistency each morning, you disarm the voice of procrastination before it has a chance to speak. You tell yourself, I do not quit when it's inconvenient. I do not wait for perfect conditions. I show up every day, no matter what. That identity is unstoppable because nothing in the world can defeat a person who refuses to stop moving forward. Each affirmation you choose is not just for today. It is for the future self you are building. Every time you speak focus, discipline, and consistency into your mornings, you are casting votes for the person you want to become. The brain does not separate intention from identity. The more you repeat, the more it accepts. Soon you will notice that you don't just say these words, you live them. Focus becomes natural. Discipline becomes instinct. Consistency becomes who you are. That is how transformation takes root. Not in sudden explosions of motivation, but in the quiet, deliberate repetition of truth every morning. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, remember this: the words you choose are not small. They are not casual. They are commands, shaping your focus, your discipline, your consistency, and your destiny. Speak them as if your life depends on them, because the life you are building truly does. When you train your mind to live with focus, discipline, and consistency, you begin to unlock a deeper layer of strength, the unshakable belief that you are in control of your own destiny. This belief is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the realization that no external circumstance has the authority to dictate who you are or what you will achieve. Every morning when you choose words that strengthen this belief, you are not just preparing for the day. You are programming your identity. And identity is the most powerful force in human behavior. You will always act in alignment with the person you believe yourself to be. Say to yourself, I am unstoppable because I refuse to quit. Those words are not about denying struggle, they are about embracing it. Struggle is not proof that you are failing. It is proof that you are fighting for something greater. Every obstacle is a mirror reflecting how badly you want what you say you want. When you declare that you refuse to quit, you remove hesitation from the equation. You commit to persistence as your only option, and that commitment builds momentum that no setback can break. The psychology of grit shows us that success is less about talent and more about persistence. The people who achieve the extraordinary are not always the most gifted. They are the ones who stay in the game when others walk away. You can cultivate that same resilience by programming your mornings with affirmations of endurance. Each time you tell yourself, I refuse to quit, you are conditioning your brain to see struggle not as a signal to stop, but as a signal to keep going. Over time, that conditioning hardens into mental armor. You stop questioning whether you can continue. You just continue. Say, I am worthy of success. Too often, people sabotage themselves not because they lack ability, but because deep down they do not believe they deserve the reward. Self-doubt whispers that success belongs to others, that happiness belongs to others, that greatness belongs to others. But that is a lie. Worth is not assigned at birth or granted by permission. Worth is something you claim, and when you affirm it each morning, you silence the hidden voice that tries to convince you to play small. You remind yourself that you are not an imposter in your own dreams. You belong in the life you're building. This is why your morning affirmations are so powerful. They are not just motivational words. They are rewiring your subconscious, breaking the old narratives that have kept you stuck and replacing them with truths that empower you to rise higher. Every repetition is a declaration that you are not who you were yesterday. You are stronger, wiser, and more determined. Every affirmation is a reminder that you are not waiting for change. You are creating it with your own voice. So speak boldly. Say it until it echoes through every part of your mind. You are unstoppable. You are worthy. You are destined for more. These are not empty promises. They are commands to your future. And when you choose to speak them with conviction, you will find that the future bends to the strength of your words. When you rise in the morning and declare who you are, you set the tone for every decision that follows. It's not enough to whisper vague hopes. You must speak with authority, with certainty, with conviction that your life bends toward the words you choose. Say, today, I take control of my mind. Those words matter more than most realize, because every battle you face begins and ends in your thoughts. If you do not control your mind will control you. It will replay old doubts, old failures, old fears, and trick you into believing they define you. But when you affirm control, you remind yourself that thoughts are not commands, they are options, and you alone decide which options to accept. The human brain is wired to search for patterns that match what you believe. If you believe you are weak, your brain will find evidence to prove it. If you believe you are strong, your brain will highlight the proof of your strength. This is why your words are not just sounds, they are instructions. Each morning when you choose empowering language, you are programming your brain to look for strength, courage, and resilience in every situation. Over time, this practice becomes automatic. Doubt loses its grip, fear loses its power, and hesitation loses its voice. Say, I create opportunities. Notice the power of those words. You are not waiting. You are not hoping. You are not asking. You are creating. Too often people wait for life to hand them the right conditions before they move. But opportunity rarely comes to the passive. It comes to the persistent, the ones who refuse to stand still. When you affirm that you create opportunities, you ignite resourcefulness within you. You begin to see possibilities where others only see obstacles. You start to take actions, however small, that open doors you once thought were closed. You stop waiting for permission and instead give yourself permission to build the life you want. And say, I choose courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in spite of fear. Every person alive feels fear, but not every person moves through it. Those who do are the ones who grow, who rise, who lead. When you start your day by claiming courage, you prepare yourself to face discomfort without retreating. You remind yourself that growth and fear walk side by side, and that fear is not a barrier. It is a sign you are moving in the right direction. Every morning you choose courage, you strengthen your capacity to handle the unknown, to walk into uncertainty with confidence, and to trust that you are stronger than any challenge. These words are more than affirmations. They are identity. They reshape how you see yourself and how you respond to the world. If you tell yourself you are powerless, you will act powerless. If you tell yourself you are capable, you will act capable. And if you tell yourself you are unstoppable, life will have no choice but to respond to the force of your belief. This is the secret. Your words lead and your actions follow. So speak with intention, speak with power, speak as the author of your future. The life you desire is waiting to answer the voice you choose to use today. Every day you wake up, you stand at a crossroads. You can let the weight of yesterday dictate how you move, or you can choose to rise with a new fire. This is why your first words in the morning matter more than anything else you do. They are not casual phrases. They are declarations of power, signals to your brain and spirit that today will not be wasted. Say, I am the architect of my future. Those words dismantle the illusion that life is something happening to you. They anchor you in the truth that life is something happening through you. When you believe you are the architect, you stop waiting for circumstances to change and instead begin building from the ground up. Every successful transformation begins with ownership. You cannot shape a future you refuse to claim. You cannot unlock greatness if you believe it belongs only to others. Ownership is not about blaming yourself for the past. It is about accepting responsibility for the future. It is the refusal to live as a passenger in your own life. When you affirm, I am the architect of my future, you take hold of the pen that writes your story. And when you hold the pen, no obstacle, no opinion, and no setback has the power to dictate your ending. Say, I am stronger than my excuses. Excuses may feel safe, but they are silent thieves. They rob you of time, energy, and growth while pretending to protect you from discomfort. Excuses sound logical, but underneath them lies fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. When you call them out each morning, you strip away their disguise. You remind yourself that strength is built in the very moments when excuses try to pull you back. By declaring your strength over excuses, you commit to action even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, even when it would be easier to delay. That commitment compounds, and over time, it builds a character that refuses to be stopped. Say, I attract growth into my life. Growth is not something that just happens. It is something you seek, something you welcome, something you choose. Many live stagnant lives not because they lack potential, but because they resist the discomfort that growth requires. But when you begin your day affirming that growth is what you attract, you shift your focus toward progress. You start seeking lessons in challenges instead of reasons to quit. You stop fearing change and instead embrace it as proof that you are evolving. And the more you focus on growth, the more opportunities appear because your mind is open to them. Each of these affirmations is not just a phrase, it is an instruction to your subconscious. The brain does not ignore repetition, it absorbs it. The more you repeat these truths, the more they become beliefs. And when they become beliefs, they shape your habits, and your habits shape your destiny. This is why you must speak them boldly, daily, relentlessly, because with every word you are constructing the foundation of the life you dream of living. And one day soon, you will look back and realize the life you built began with the words you spoke to yourself in the quiet of the morning.